Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
Welcome to the next episode of Inner Excursions. My name's Heather Quick, and I'm here with Miss Stacy Katz. Hi, Stacy.
Hello. My Copacabana arms.
So today we have a really cool topic, which we haven't even fully fleshed out yet. We're going to flesh it out here. The topic is slowing down. Stacy, what made you think about slowing down?
Well, you know, before my dad passed, not to get super heavy, but 2 years ago, I thought that naps were for the weak, right? Slowing down was for people who couldn't, cut it. And there's nothing that I love more than making shit happen.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, faster, better, quicker than everybody else, right? And what I've really learned the past 2 years is, yeah, I could get a lot done, but the satisfaction, the distraction, the shooting all over myself
Yeah.
really came from the rushing, the hurry, and the multitasking. And I'm just throwing it out there for consideration, especially for women who are just diffuse in our focus. We're just able to do more and we have more people to do it for, the people we love.
Yeah.
It's just by nature, I think, being a woman. And I really want to just throw out there a discussion of the power of slowing down
Yeah.
and getting more satisfaction, getting more meaning, getting more fulfillment,
Mm-hmm.
and probably getting more done. Probably getting more
Right. Yeah. The irony of how rushing, you know,
done.
but when I remember when I was raising my kids, I think the saying was haste is a form of violence.
Wow.
I remember like people talking about that in terms of like rushing little kids around, you know,
Mm,
and we're all rushing ourselves around all the time. More, go, go, go. And I, just like you, I love me some immediate action. I love, um, making a creation occur, as soon after I think about it as I'm able. And like you said, when I am, the when I think of slowing down, the first thing that I'll focus on slowing down is my breath and my
oh,
thoughts,
beautiful.
right?
Beautiful.
Like when we're talking about slowing down, what are we really talking about,
I'm
right?
always holding my breath.
Yeah,
Not great.
yeah, yeah. So what if the most productive I could be was with slow breaths and slow thoughts? Right? What if all the extra worry and anxiety and all the trying to do it perfectly stuff was really just in the way of my productivity, right? We think it's focused on it, but what if um, so every day I drop my kids off at school and the first thing I do if I don't have a call is take a run or a walk. And the purpose of it is to check in with me, to be with me, but to slow down the thoughts in my head. It is kind of I wouldn't say a rush, but it's busy. I'm managing little children, right? Getting them, dropping them off at school. And the most important thing I can do every single day is spend some time with myself, getting recentered on what I'm focusing on, moving my body. But it's a funny that you bring this up. I slow down to get started at work,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
To start creating.
Absolutely. And, and I'm always thinking about my former life in corporate and, the Slack channels and the backed up meetings and, the many people were moving around in projects and deliverables and deadlines that are not necessarily generated from oneself, right?
Yeah.
You would definitely choose to opt out of, probably 80% of these meetings.
Right.
And still, yet, one thing at a time
Yes.
is, it just takes, for me, I've learned it just takes me, I can shorten the time it takes to work on something because I'm just more focused. I think,
Right.
these days, being able to focus is truly a superpower with
Absolutely.
all of the alerts. And I really believe it's so important that we intentionally cultivate the ability. So if you're able to turn off these notifications, and what I wanted to talk about is, and what you spoke to, Heather, beautifully, is inner slowing down,
Yeah.
right? So it doesn't mean you don't accept the meetings that you need to accept,
Mm.
right? But what can we do to get more calm?
Yes.
What can we do to slow down our racing thoughts? What can we do to be, okay, I know my kid forgot his homework and I have to present this to the client, right? And as a single mom, I was always into the minute my son was born, and I think most people who
Yes.
are caring for somebody, even if you're not a mom, if you've got aging parents or a sick dog, right?
Mhm.
You're in two places
Yeah.
and it doesn't help anybody.
Right.
And so I would love to talk. I always love to get it back to the how, because everybody knows we should. Everybody knows that we want to,
Absolutely.
right? Who doesn't want to be
Intellectually.
more,
Right.
right? But so tell me, Heather, so I know you start your days if you can. Know you love walks and
Yes.
nature, breathing. What else are some tips for an inner excursion of slowing down?
So I think the two most important things that I do is ask myself the questions when I notice that I'm in loops in my head. One is, what's really going on? Like if you were like talking with a friend, and they're, I'll have, be in a judgment loop, or be in a what I got to get done loop, or be in a worry about how I'm going to talk to this person about something. If I notice that my thoughts are going fast, I say, and I'm really trying to figure something out. My brain loves to try to figure things out all the way to the core. I get it. But if I'm going in loops, I realize I'm not getting there. Right. So I ask myself, like, hold up, slow down. What's really going on? And that is my cue to pause, take a breath, empty my mind, and listen. And
Mm,
usually the deeper thing will come up. And um, then I can be with what my actual, the Vanessa Browers, I think, says, your subconscious is just as smart. All these smart people walking around, right? Your subconscious is just as smart as your consciousness is, right? And take a pause. So when I'm really worried about something, I'll find myself thinking about things not related to it, like as a distraction. And so the pause to figure out what's really going on won't solve all those things that I'm thinking about, but it will relieve the need to distract myself from whatever that core fear is or whatever that core worry is. So that's a beautiful practice I have. And it feels really like a deepening of intimacy with myself. Just like if you were, having a worry and this and that and da 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 da, I might say, wait, pause a second. Wait, what's really going on, Stacey? What's happening in there? Or with clients, it's like you come with all the stories and it's like, pause, what's really going on? So that's a beautiful way that I slow down. The other, and it's really like mostly, the slowing down starts with the invitation for the pause, right? The other question I ask myself, and maybe it's after that one a lot, is what would I love to create? And so often, most of us, if you look at Robert Keegan offers some levels of consciousness, you can look those up. Most of us stay our whole entire lives, 70% of the population, our whole entire lives, in the mode of just coping with life, tolerating
absolutely.
life, just letting like life is happening to us, and we're just figuring
Yes.
out, right, how to deal with the next moment and have it suck
Yes.
us, right?
Yes.
And my brain will live there unless I invite it somewhere else. And so the what's really going on thing is a beautiful question, but the more important one is, okay, I see how everything is right now. All the chips have fallen, or I know what's um, ahead in my day. What would I love to create? And that question in itself is a stepping into agency, a stepping into creativity, a stepping into being the source of what you would love to experience, right? Instead of the whatever it is, whenever the not this, I call it, is happening right
Mm,
now. So whenever I ask myself, what would I love to create? That's another invitation to pause, because what would I love to create is a different question than what do I need to do? My brain can
mm,
spit out what I need to do, no problem. But what would I love to create? That requires a pause and an emptiness of my mind and an emerging of something new.
so beautiful.
So those are the actual, because we can walk around and say, I need to slow down. Man, I should slow down. I wish my thoughts would slow down. Oh, I can't slow my thoughts down. Why are my thoughts moving so fast? I'm so anxious. I'm so anxious. I'm so anxious. If I try to solve my anxiety, not getting anywhere, whatever you focus on, you get more of. So
Absolutely.
these are questions that I use to step into ease, step into the pause, really, that can start a new tempo. right? To
Gorgeous.
how I'm doing
Gorgeous.
the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, some of my favorite tips,
Yeah. Tell us.
and I don't really love the word tips because I think it kind of oversimplifies, but I also want people to sort of go, oh, this is something I can grab and use. And this is definitely one of those. And so I do compassionate self-forgiveness work and releasing judgments in prisons
Yeah.
with the Freedom to Choose Project. And one of the biggest helps is called freedom writing, which basically you light a candle, and if you can, and you just write whatever is in your head, like, oh my gosh, this is stupid. I have no idea what I'm going to write. So it's not journaling.
Yeah.
Which is something like you think and then you write. This is just like whatever thought comes in your head. Oh, forgot to take out the toast in the oven. Shit,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of dumping
Sure.
what's ever coming through. And, you can do it for 10 minutes to 2 hours if you have a lot of time. And when you're done, you rip it up and you throw it sort of outside if you can, but just sort of not in your immediate vicinity. Some people throw it in the toilet, but my toilet clogged after a while, so I wouldn't recommend that.
Don't do that.
Some people write it actually on toilet paper.
Oh, smart.
Yes.
That's some hack right there.
I find it a little unwieldy, but some people swear by that.
Yeah.
So freedom writing is a really great way, and you never ever reread it. Even if you had like a gem, like your poem or your book idea, just write it on a separate piece of paper, but do never go back and reread the freedom writing, because what you're trying to do is clear your unconscious. And that brings it back and makes it a little bit even more difficult to release. So freedom writing is something accessible for everybody. You don't have to take a class. It's just, it works. So I love freedom writing, and then wash your hands afterwards.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. So that's important. So I love freedom writing. Is this true? This person's a jerk.
The Byron Katie.
Right. Byron Katie work. And you can look up Byron Katie, BYRONKATIE. She's great, but really just, we live like we're, at the, just like a whack-a-mole of like reacting to what people what our spouse said, what our kid didn't do, what our boss decreed, right? And so to get out of sort of the victim and the judgment, that I don't have any agency or power, it's like, is this true? And is this true that this person's the devil? No, maybe not, and even if it were, could I be okay with that? Right? So there's some beautiful release of the story options there.
Right.
And also what's helped me as well is setting intentions, right? So for me, internal peace is my priority, right? So like my son, who I adore more than anything, but he has ADD and he just gets wired starting 11 o'clock at night, right? I get up really early. So he's starting to just party and go and can't turn off his brain. And I love this story. For a long time, I would turn on the light in his room.
Yeah.
And so, cause I said, okay, we have an agreement. You're going to go to bed at 11:30 midnight. Yeah. Okay. So I turn on the light, and then I would, get up to pee in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Right. And then I see that the light is on in the hallway.
Yeah.
So I know he's downstairs. Well, oftentimes he falls asleep on the couch, which just makes me go postal. And so then I would grumpy, mad, go downstairs, haul his 6'2" body off the couch if I can, or just wake him up, get in your room on like this just Groundhog's Day. And then one day I just got why am I turning on the light? I'm doing this to myself. So I get up now, I go to the bathroom and I tell myself, I'm sure he's in bed asleep. And that's it. Right. So it's like, choose my peace.
Yes.
I created all of that.
Yes.
And he's where he's at is where he's at. but
Right.
like me relinquishing my inner peace was changing nothing about the situation. It
Right,
wasn't getting
right,
anybody
right, right,
anywhere,
right.
right? So I just love and I love the metaphor of the light is on or off,
Yeah.
right? And so what is my intention? My intention is my inner peace.
Yes.
So that's what I chose.
Right. That's the priority.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's the priority. And it helps give you a North Star when you go into a meeting or people are not cooperating with your vision and your preferences
Yes.
all day, every day. That happens, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I can fight over this parking spot. I can tell this honk at this person who cut me off, right? We can,
Right.
yes, and we might be justified and we might be right,
Right.
or I can choose my inner excursion, which is my inner peace.
Well, what you're pointing to is that slowing down can help
Yeah.
us find out what's really important,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Slowing down gives us the opportunity to direct ourselves towards what really matters. You know, like you said, the coping with what's thrown at us all the time, doing things the same old way that we've always done them, and getting the same results that we don't like. That's being on a hamster wheel. But slowing down, becoming intentional. And what also helps us do is, you know, when I slow down and check in with my heart, and I, like you said, notice what my heart would love, you know, what intention I would love to create, what um, outcome my heart would enjoy most. That's the path to fulfillment. Coping, managing with our daily life,
I love that.
you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, the dishes, we just get the dishes done. That's like, you know, you could say that's coping with life, but not even. Did you know when I do the dishes, almost every time I do the dishes, if someone's around, I say, I'm doing the dishes and nobody can stop me. And it's like this funny way of being like, this matters, this is important. Like, you
Yeah.
know, instead of, oh, this is what I got to do, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that makes the dishes a more fulfilling experience for me. I would love to ask my heart what it would love to have and then take action on that and have an opportunity for fulfillment as often as I can throughout the day. It takes a
Mm.
pause and an ask, an interior ask. And I mean that in tiny little ways and also in massive ways in my life, right? I do things that don't have the highest ROI, that aren't, you know, the path to most productivity because my heart says, I want that.
Yeah.
And then I take the action on that. I say yes to it. I take the action on it. And then I receive really this fulfillment that is, you know, awe-inspiring. That's what makes life worth living. That's what provides meaning to our lives. And I think so many of us are running around so fast because we think
Yes.
we're going to get somewhere and then have that feeling.
Yes.
That feeling is somewhere on the end of tripling my productivity, on
10x
checking off
it.
all the boxes of the
Yeah.
to-do list. And really, it's this slowing down, checking in, listening in, right? And believing what our heart has to say about what I would love to create. What actions can I take that can actually lead to a real feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction?
I love what you just said, Heather. And it's one of the things I adore most about you is that you really slow down and you hear your inner wisdom, you hear your instinct. And um, I think the word slow has been given sort of almost a negative connotation, even though I think
Absolutely.
in the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise did win the race. But
That's true. Look at
yeah,
that.
right.
Yes.
And it has been given this bad rap, like you're not going to win, right? You're not
Yeah.
going to get there faster. You're not could be as productive. You're not going to succeed. You're not going to whatever. And there is this instant, always on demand, Uber Eats, right?
Yes.
Uber,
Yes.
everything has to be in the
Yes.
now quicker.
Yes.
And when we are not slow, especially, and I'm not even talking externally, I'm talking slow ourselves down internally, we can't hear what we want.
Yeah.
And I think as women, and I'll speak for myself, I'm saying, speaking for a friend said, um,
Stacy's the friend.
so many times I've just been doing so much so fast for everyone and everything because I just honestly, because if it sometimes I forget if I don't do it immediately. That's big part of
Yeah.
it. But and then I can't even know what I really want.
Right.
I don't even know, you know, do I even want to call that guy back? Do I even want to have that Zoom? Do I
Do
even
I even
want
want
you
this job? Do
take
I even
that
want this
meeting?
next client? Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if we, and I get disconnected and I can't hear
Yeah.
my wisdom and what I really want. And I think that's why so many of us are just running around, burnout, frustrated,
Hmm.
um, not fulfilled
Right.
and not clear.
Right.
And it all, another word for slowing down is relaxing, right?
Yeah.
I am creating a movement for the relaxed and powerful woman,
Whoa.
starting with her, starting with
Uh-huh.
me,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And I just think it's all about inner slowness. And you could still make a lot of shit happen. I still get a lot done, but I get
More,
more done
we
when I'm
decide that.
freaking
Yes.
aligned with me
Yes. Yes. Yes.
than
When
frustrated and angry.
I know that if I'm not slow, I guess it's all relative. If I'm not relaxed, then um, I'm in some form. If I'm in urgency, I'll say that. If I'm in urgency, then there's a fear that's driving,
Mm. Oh, it's so beautiful.
right? If
Be-
I'm in urgency, then there's a fear that's driving me. And I would love to be pulled by a vision
Yes.
instead of driven by fear. That's my commitment, is to come back to the vision that is pulling me. I did that this morning. I went and visioned about what the world I would love to create. To remember, I was like, wait, what am I doing next? Right? Come back
Yeah,
to the vision of what I'm creating in the world. And now I
right,
know where to put my actions, but it's
right.
coming from a place of excitement, of
And
anticipation,
love,
in love instead of
love.
lack and scarcity and fear and need to. So this is, I talk about a lot, the transition from life being work to life being play.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm
how
a
you do
card
it.
carrying member. I'm literally a card carrying member of that club.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, I've invented 3 family card games that are all about play and laughter. So, yes, I join you in that purpose
Yes.
of more play.
Wonderful. All right. What is the invitation that we're offering
Mm,
for anyone listening?
yes. So we've offered some tips and some ways of slowing down, ways of relaxing. We would love to just invite you to try on one micro step inside yourself of what would make you feel more relaxed in the moment. How can you lean into love and not fear? And, tell us how that, show, what experience that brings you. And I would, love to hear, how that's going for everybody, an invitation to relax and slow down. What about you, Heather?
That's so beautiful. How often does someone say, come relax and slow down
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in the spirit of doing more?
Yeah.
So that's
Being
the
more. I would say
idea.
being more,
Being
not
more.
necessarily,
Yes.
not
Yes.
necessarily doing more, but
Yes.
being more satisfied, being more powerful, being more self-directed,
Right.
being more joyful,
Yes.
be
Yes.
more connected,
Yes.
right? And the
Yes.
doing will follow. The doing
And
will
the
follow.
doing will follow. You know, I'm about to write an article called You're Not as Scared as You Think You Are.
Beautiful.
And it's about how sometimes we'll not be in action and we'll think, I have limiting beliefs. I need to get some fear out of the way, right? And we do all the inner work about that. But man, my invitation is to create a vision, because creating a vision is what will pull you, right? When I have
Yes.
an idea that I'm super excited about, I'm off. I'm not worried about my limiting beliefs. I'm like, I'm going there, right?
100%.
So create a vision, check in with your heart about
That's
what,
the first thing I do with my clients.
yeah.
Let's create a North Star.
Perfect. Perfect. So
Yeah.
that's the other invitation. Well, thank you everyone for listening. It's so beautiful to imagine one of our ideas touching somebody's eardrums and getting into their brain and their life and releasing their suffering and helping them love being human a little bit more. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being here with me, Stacy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And if you want to learn more, our contact of it is available um, down below. We're up there. I don't know. Figure it out. And
Right? Wherever it is.
there,
Have a click. Let's have a conversation.
click get a conversation
Talk soon.
and a cocktail. Bye.